that gives you suggestions for ideas for videos. And so one of them was like a gum chewing whisper ramble. And if you've been watching the last couple videos, you know I'm trying to up my YouTube game just a little bit. So I was like, alright, let's try it. I like gum. I got some gum. And we're gonna whisper. And apparently one of the best things, a little froggy, one of the best things, one of the higher search rankings was hockey ASMR. So I was like, okay, gum chewing, hockey ASMR, let's go. So that's what we're doing today. We're gonna whisper ramble about hockey. If I can stop having such a froggy throat. And we're doing weird stuff with the lights. We got this light down here, and it's changing colors. We got a light back there that's changing colors. The color change seems pretty subtle. On with the show. So, let's talk about hockey. What do we want to talk about with hockey? I haven't been watching hockey that much this year, and I think that's because I haven't been playing hockey because I keep having these toe issues. Just diabetes complications. I had like an ulcer in my toe, and it like keeps flaring up, and I have to keep going back to the doctor, get it cut up, which sucks. But it looks pretty good. So this Sunday, I think I'm gonna get back on the ice for the first time in I think it's been like 3 weeks, because I got like the first game of the season in, and then I was like out for 5 weeks, something like that, and then I got one more game, and then I've been out. I think I got 2 or 3 games actually, because there was like 2 in one weekend, and then I had to go back to the doctor, got it cut. Now I've been out for another like 3 weeks or so, so I've missed like half the season at this point, something like that, which is a total bummer, but like it's just beer league. I think the biggest thing that's a bummer for is that like hockey is like a thing. It's like one of the few social things I do. I mean, especially with COVID, but it's like that's like, I'm not gonna say like I'm close with anybody, but I play hockey with a lot of the same people, and so you get a lot of that. It's a time when I can go, and it's one of the few times where like I can really shut my brain off and get that reset. So if I'm not doing that, then I just stress and anxiety, and it all builds. And so like being off the ice for long periods definitely negatively impacts my mental health. But you know, I still train a little bit. I've been riding the bike a lot. I rode the bike 17 miles today. And I got a new bike. I got an assault bike, a Rogue Echo bike, which people have dubbed the devil's tricycle because it sucks to ride. It's not fun. But it's a good workout. So there's that. And I've been getting into mace swinging, and I'm starting to do mace complexes. A complex is where you do multiple moves in a row without putting the weight down. So instead of like, if you're doing, say you're doing like, I guess, I don't know if they really have them with like dumbbells. I don't know a lot about dumbbells, but so think of like, if you did a curl and then a press, and then you did like a squat, you know, and all this one move. So you curl, press, and then maybe while you had them overhead, you could squat, you know, and have an overhead squat. So that's like what a complex would be, and that's like 1 rep. So what I had been doing is just doing like individual exercises, and what would happen is I'd do it too much because I was doing a lot of 360s, which is like the go-to move. Like if you think about maces, a 360 for a mace is like a kettlebell swing or like a dumbbell curl or like a bench press. You know, it's like the move that people do with it. So I just was doing a lot of that, and then I would get like my elbow would get angry at me. But it seems like if I do the complexes, not only do I get my heart rate up more, not only do I get more muscle activation and more time under tension, which should be good for my blood sugar, but I'm also getting a lot of reps in, because you know, I get like, you do the 360 and then your joint gets a break from doing the hard thing, so you can go longer, and so more time under tension. So the end goal of all this is to just get healthier, to have my blood sugar better control, B, to lose weight, so it's less pressure on my feet, so my feet get less fucked up, And then C, when I get back on the ice, I want to be fucking fast. I want to be fucking good. Because, like, I'm a competitive person. I want to get on the ice. I want to do well. So that's kind of been my training routine, is a lot of bike, just low impact, steady state stuff. And then a lot of mace swinging, club swinging. I'm getting back into kettlebells a little bit. I just got an 88-pound one, which is awesome. I can squat it, and I can kind of swing it, but I can feel like I feel like a lot of my joints aren't ready for heavyweights. Because if I can tell, like, if I swung that 88-pound one for multiple reps, there's a good chance something somewhere would get angry at me. Like, I can physically do it, but, like, I can't. You know what I mean? Like, I have the strength, but I don't. My body's not ready for, take that kind of force. So I'm like, okay. And so the end goal, anyway, aside from being fast, is to get back to a point where I could get playing hockey 3 times a week, which is what I was doing before I was diagnosed with diabetes. So that's the goal, and that's kind of like, that was how I did it as a kid, was we'd play 3 times a week. Or there's like, because we played roller hockey and ice hockey, so there was an overlap where, like, at the end of the ice season was like the beginning of the roller season. So when that would happen, we'd be playing hockey like 5-6 times a week, or more, because there was like a tournament. Like, you'd play 3 games in a weekend, like, easy. So you could have 6 to 9 times playing. And so we loved it as kids. That's all we did, was we played hockey. Me and my little brother. Older brother didn't play hockey. He's like on the autistic spectrum. He's not really a sports guy. He's also very large and has flat feet, which I'm learning now, much later. I thought flat feet was just like a condition, but apparently it's like something that you can totally fix. But maybe that wasn't known back then. I don't know, because I think that was like 30 years ago. So anyway, so I've been playing hockey since I was how old was I? 8. I think I was in 2nd grade. Started in the neighborhood kids who were just playing street hockey, and we were like, oh, that looks like fun, but I couldn't rollerblade, so like, oh, you could be goalie, and I was like, sweet. And then we got like some really, really cheap goalie pads, and then we played in the driveway, and that led to roller hockey. We got skates eventually, and learned to skate. Oh, there's Bear doing his bear stuff. Hey, bud. Oh, you can see his shadow. That's fun. Learned to skate. And then we joined up a roller hockey league in the Y, and that led to travel roller hockey, and that led to ice hockey, and that led to travel ice hockey. And so that was kind of, and then I played high school club hockey. But not for my high school, because my high school, I was a goalie, and my high school had too many goalies, and some of the schools didn't have any goalies, and I was like, I have 0 school spirit, like, put me wherever you need a goalie, I'll do it. And we did pretty good. We went all the way to 2nd place twice with two different schools, so that feels great. But we were like, we did good during the season. We were usually the 1st place team, because I was usually one of the best goalies, because I was a big fucking kid, and I was really fast for somebody my size. So you put those 2 things together, it makes for good. And I was also really flexible. Somehow, I was a fat kid. I don't know, because I stretched a lot. You could be fat and flexible, believe it or not. I have seen many TikToks of fat dancers doing cool stuff, so that's what you get. Anyway, played hockey through high school. Started working at the ice rink. There's some ice rink stories on my channel if you go find those. That was like 2003, and then because I was graduated in 2004, I signed up for the men's league, and I think my dad had to sign a piece of paper, because I don't know if I was 18 at that point. I was still, because I graduated young. I was 17 when I graduated. So I think I had to have like my parents sign off and like sign a waiver and stuff. And I couldn't drink beer. I was in beer league and I couldn't drink the beer. And I think my team was like, oh, well, not that year. The next 2nd year, the team was like, have one kid. And I was like, let's have one, guys. don't know, they felt like they missed their shot at the show, and this was like their chance to prove something to somebody. And so they were just like always mad. Like if we won, they yelled at each other. If we lost, they yelled at each other. And like it wasn't fun. And I was like, man, fuck this. So I quit playing goalie. And I was like, I'm gonna try to skate out, see what that's like, because then I could skate with the beginners. Because I could skate really well, but I couldn't stick handle to save my life, because that's not something they teach goalies. They don't teach you how to stick handle or shoot. So did that, had a bunch of fun, and then I got fired at the ice rink for some bullshit. The short version is that we had like an employee skate at night. On Tuesday nights, where like the employees and their friends we'd come skate, dick around, play hockey, and it got a little out of control with like people inviting friends, and like friends of friends started coming, and so it was never like a lot of people. Like the most it would ever be would be like 10 or 15 people, but people were going behind the counter and being like real, just grabbing, snacks and shit, which like for the whole time I worked there was like, if you want something, just take it, like whatever. And that was like the official policy. But then somewhere along the line, management changed over. The owners came back, because the owners were like very hands off, and they wanted to be hands on at that point. And so somewhere in that changeover, I guess they didn't like that policy, but didn't really communicate it. So if we were like, yeah, whatever, we'll grab a hot chocolate, because it costs like 10 cents, like to the rink. So they were really mad about that. So that's technically the reason I got fired, was because I was the most senior person and I was letting it happen or whatever. But I didn't know that these people were being so carte blanche about just walking behind the counter and wandering around and shit. Because I would have told them to stay on the ice or fuck off. But the real reason, I think, is because the owner's kid had just graduated from film school, ironically enough, and he needed a job. So I basically trained my own replacement, and when he was up to speed, they kicked me out. So fuck them. Anyway, so now, so I took, then after that, like, because I love that job, I put a lot of time and effort and energy, and like, I had just graduated that same week, and it's like all of my weekends were taken up by the ice rink because I was like the manager there, and it was like all the time, like all the fucking college experiences I gave up to fucking run this place. Like, fuck you people. So then that just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. I didn't want to play hockey, so I quit hockey. And then I had been wanting to get back into it, and then I was like, nah, I don't have health insurance. Like, that's not good, because if I hurt myself, then I'm fucked. And then I moved in with this girl, because we were been dating for a long time, and then she was like, oh, I can get you on my health insurance, because she worked at a hotel chain, which, if you know much about the hospitality industry, it's very gay friendly. So a lot of the perks are set in their benefit package as domestic partnerships, because for the longest time, a lot of gay people, they want to share the perks, the insurance with their, spouses who are same sex, so they couldn't get married. So that's how all that was written into the contracts. And so to be a domestic partnership in Nebraska, all you have to do is have a joint bank account and like a lease together. And like, that's it. The barrier's very low. So we got the joint bank account, put $1 in it, and just left it like that. And then we brought that to the HR, and I got on the health insurance, which was really good insurance. So I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna sign up for hockey. Like, I think I waited a year, and then I was like, I'm gonna sign up for hockey. And somewhere in that year, me and the girl broke up. So I stayed on her insurance for like one more year after that. Because we technically were still in the domestic partnership for like 1 month of January. Because we lived together through the breakup, which I do not recommend. We lived together for like 6 months after we broke up. Which, that's a traumatic story for another day. I don't want to trauma dump on you with an ASMR video about hockey. Suffice to say, there's never an innocent person in a breakup. But she did cheat on me. But I probably wasn't the best of boyfriends, and we were heading towards a breakup anyway. So, neither here nor there. And there's a lot more there than... We'll leave that alone. Put that over a different video. That's really fucking heavy. Anyway, I was like, okay, and then so I got on Obamacare because I could finally afford insurance on my own, and I was like, and then my insurance went from really good to really shitty. And then of course it was really shitty that I found out I had diabetes. So go fucking figure, right? Anyway, so we I just kept playing hockey, and then I got hurt, and then and then things were fine for like the last 2 seasons, and then now this last season and this season I've been having issues, and so I'm like, fuck, am I on a quick slide down? So I gotta figure something out, that was all the beginning, the starting of this video, is getting into training, getting into fasting. So I don't eat breakfast most days, and I go 15 to 18 hours without eating. I'm trying to cut back on energy drinks, I fell off the wagon here this last week or so, and I just drank my last one, so I'm all amped up, and I'm like, okay, no more energy drinks, back to black coffee, tea, get back on the path. And I bought some fancy Snickers coffee creamer, which has way too much sugar in it, but I think it'll help me ease back in to just doing coffee. Anyway, so that brings us up to speed with hockey. I've gotten a lot of second place trophies in a lot of big tournaments, including a national roller hockey tournament. Got second place. That feels good. Got second place. And you call it state. It's Nebraska. So there's, just Omaha and Lincoln is the only hockey teams you'd have. I got second place twice in that, 2 years in a row. But I did, with one of my beer league teams, we did win the championship, so that felt good. And then last season, the season before this one, we got to the championship. We lost the first game, which forced a second game, because in beer league you have to lose twice in the playoffs. And then we lost that, but I scored 2 goals. I played a really good game. That was probably the best game of hockey I've played as a forward. And I'm just still trying to chase that high. So even though we lost, it was a really fun team. And we drank beers and ate hot dogs in the parking lot and burgers and shit. We grilled, and we were up there for like 6 hours after the game. And I was like, we might not have won the fucking thing, but we definitely had the most fun in this league. That's the most fun I've had playing hockey. And coincidentally, that was also like my best. That was like the peak performance for me skating out. Obviously not as a goalie, because I never played goalie with that team. So I'm just trying to get that back, trying to recapture that feeling. And that was like all like right as the pandemic was happening. That was kind of just like right, like where we paused the season, and then we picked it up and we finished in June before like it really amped up. And then I took a season off, and then I was like, okay, the numbers are going back down, and also my mental health is frayed from not playing hockey, so I'm gonna get back into it. So, that is kind of my hockey experience from beginning to end, and what I'm doing to train. What else can I talk about with hockey, with the rambling? I could probably tell like some stories about some shit. One thing, when we were Bantams, so Bantams is like 13, 14. Obviously we're fueled up on testosterone. You gotta think back, this was 20 years ago now. The kind of like, Fight Club had just come out. And like, we were 13-year-olds. So we did something called locker boxing, which is you'd wear your helmet and your gloves, and you'd just bap at each other in the locker room. Just, good-natured fun till someone fell down, because there's bags all over the place. So you'd get tripped pretty easy. And since I was a goalie, and I was big, people were like, oh, go fight you. And I was like, nah. And then one kid once, who's like, come on, pussy. And then he punched me he had a glove on, but he punched me, and I was like, what the fuck, okay, let's do it. And then I fucking destroyed it. And then after that, nobody was like, oh, fight Ben. No, that didn't happen after that. Because he's like, oh, you can't fight with your blocker. And I was like, oh, go pussy. And that did it. And then so you had gloved over, and then just, it all took one, and it was used down. So does that count as a hockey fight? I got in one other hockey fight. That same year, somebody cross-checked me. And his story was that he couldn't stop. And I don't know, I was angry. I think I was having a bad game. So he cross-checked me, which cross-check is when you're holding the stick with both hands, and I'm on my knees, because goalie, on your knees. Anyway, and so he cross-checked me. So, in the head, I got over, and then I just came up swinging. And this was like 13-year-olds, and so it didn't really feel like a hockey fight because it got broken up pretty quick. And I don't think the refs knew what to do because they were just like, we've never seen a hockey fight from 13-year-olds, so I didn't get kicked out, which is good. And then the next year I played high school hockey, and our first game, because the high school hockey was like new, that was like the first year they did it, and they didn't have a rule about fighting, so the game ended in a big fight, because like hockey, it was new, and so while it wasn't technically affiliated with the school, all the kids from the school were like, oh, we have a hockey team, and they showed up. So there's like 600 kids riling up these testosterone young boys who are just looking to fight, or because they're just frustrated with life. And so the game ended in a fight, and we had more penalty minutes than playing. We had like, I want to say it was like 130 penalty minutes or something insane like that. And then it ended in a fight, and then the rink manager, this is before Eric did the rink, the ring manager was like, "That's your game has gone way over time. You're fighting," and like because there wasn't a rule about fighting, they didn't suspend anybody. And then like that night, they had like an emergency meeting. We're like, "If you fight, you're done. You're out. Like you're kicked out of the league. You're banned." So, as you can tell, the attendance was still pretty good that whole year, and then over the years it declined. But it's still like that first season. That was the most like, I don't know what to, that's the only time hockey felt like it wasn't the most fun I had playing hockey. It was close, but like it was the only time hockey felt like really important, like this everything mattered. And it's like, looking back, this is kind of sad to say, like looking back, I can't think of having that feeling really ever since. Like shooting like weddings was kind of big, like the first couple, like you felt like this is really important, everything matters, don't fuck up. But like most of the rest of life has been like kind of like, yeah, whatever happens, kind of it'll be okay. So there's that. And then what else can we talk about? When we played roller hockey, we used to like, because we'd be out like roller rinks for like the whole fucking day, so you'd get bored, so you'd play pranks on each other. One thing we used to like to do is get a hot dog and then get like the tip of the hot dog and put it in the finger of somebody's glove, which is really stupid, but like that was the big like banana in the tailpipe joke. They put their glove on, they'd be like, ugh, because you'd think it was like a mouse or something, and then they pull out a hot dog and everybody would laugh. Stupid. So, good times. Great oldies, KGOR. That's a radio station, I don't know, that's a little jingle. What else can I talk about with hockey? Obviously I drove a Zamboni. That's ice rink stories for a different time. Cum sounds. Yeah, that's really, if you have questions, you drop them in the comments and I'll answer them, and maybe I can make a video about just answering your hockey questions. I did an About Me video with the Q&A. I think when I don't know if I had like 1,000 subscribers or something when I did that. I don't think so. I think it was later than that. But maybe I'll do another Q&A. Should I do another Q&A? Drop a response in the comments. Anyway, that's really all I have to say about that for now. If I think of other things, maybe I'll make another video. But that said, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around and listening to me ramble and chew on gum. Hopefully that's not too weird. And yeah, I hope you're doing well. And if not, well, I hope that turns around for you real soon. And if you've never played hockey before, look into it. It's got a steep learning curve, but like it's a lot of fun. And I promise you, there's a lot of people getting into hockey at older ages. So no matter what your age is, like if you obviously missed the show, but like you could go play beer league and have fun, get workout, and not get diabetes. It's a good time. So yeah, that's all I got for you. Thanks for watching. See you next time.